Hello everybody, welcome back. It has been a few days and I have missed you on Sunday, but I'm back again today to share with you a little project for our Traveler's Notebook journal. I am very excited to be back and really feeling motivated. So those few days off did me very well. I am going to show you a couple of things that you're going to gather and we're going to get straight to it. So the first thing I want you to look at, which I mentioned before, is a paper bag. So a paper bag or an envelope, I mentioned this in the last video. We're going to use this for our cover today. So you're going to need one of those. Then we're going to have a look at the doily because we are going to make the cover today. So look for a doily, a piece of lace, netting, anything like that you can get your hands on. It doesn't have to be the same as mine, but we're going to be doing some layering. I'm also going to use a piece of fabric. All right, so we're going to use just a little scrap of fabric. This I think is probably about 4.5 inches by 8, just short of 8. All right. I've got 2 pieces of lace. This is the butterfly lace. I got this long time ago from Plum Boutique, but any lace will do. That's going to be the length of the side of your journal. I have also got a piece of paper here. This is pink parchment type paper, but avocado dyed paper or any kind of paper. You're not going to see much of this. It's going to go underneath everything. All right, then we're going to be looking at a couple of other bits. So I'm using my cream lace paper. We're looking at about 3 3/3 inches by 6 inches or 10 by 15 centimeters. You want another one as well that's the same as that. And this is the daisy or the flower background paper. And I've got 2 of these in my printed kits, so you can use one of those. And then the polka dot paper is 4.25 inches by 6 3/4. That equates to about, more or less here guys, 10.5 centimeters by 17.5. All right, so these 2 are pretty much the same. And then you've got this one. We're going to just do some layering here. So this is like a soft apricot peach color, the lace background paper, and the polka dot. All of these are available as digitals or printed kits if you are not sure where you get them. This is one of the mini pages. We're going to tear it in half. It's this page here. We're then going to use the other half for the back, and then I've pretty much got the same kind of papers here, slightly bigger, but I'll get to that when I do that. All right, I've also sewn on the first one just to save me some time, 3 little tortoiseshell oyster shell buttons on here. So those I've just put on. I've sewn them on, and yeah, this piece of paper, which is one of the mini pages, I've effectively torn it in half. So it was like this and like this, and I've just torn it in half and hand torn the edges on all of these. Some of them I used a ruler, but I prefer a hand torn look. All right, so that's what we're going to use here. I've got a little piece of the crochet die. It was a miscut, but I'm going to use it actually. This I actually cut out of my wildflowers. It's a scrappy piece. You can see it's not straight, but any sort of peachy pink color that you've got, any scrap, go and cut out one of those. And then I've got a tab. I've just put in an eyelet and a little bit of ribbon. I'm going to use this as well. All right, so that's what we're going to use. I've got some die cuts for the top. So I've got a green one, a peach one, and a lighter peach one. So those are from the wildflowers, and that's from one of my other garden greens or something. And then using one of the sentiments that I had, Embrace Life, and then I might use this butterfly, which is from my butterfly kit. All right, so that's what I've gathered here, and we're going to have a little start. Right, so the first thing you want to do is, and I've cut one already, but I want to just talk you through it, is you want to take your bag, your envelope, or your Amazon packaging. We're not going to use any pockets. We're merely repurposing this to form the base for our cover. It's going to give us a nice sturdy cover, a nice soft sturdy cover. So what you want to do is, the pages themselves, this will be slightly different if you've printed this on an A4 or on a US letter. All right, so mine is 8 1/4. Yours might be 8 1/2. You want to add on a 1/2 inch onto the length here of your cover. So if you're using US letter, you're probably going to cut it out this way at 9 inches. And if you're going to use A4, it's 8 1/4. 8 1/4 in centimeters is 21 centimeters. So for me, I'm going to make mine about 8 3/4. All right, so that gives me a 1/4 inch there and a 1/4 inch there for the cover. All right, so the papers themselves, if I take one here and lie it out, you'll see that I think it's 8 3/4, and I want the cover to be, I think it was 9 1/2, yeah, 9 1/2. All right, so effectively you want to just add on another 1/4 inch on each side, so another 1/2 inch, so 1/2 inch extra on the length of your page and 1/2 inch extra that way. All right, so we've got all of our pages prepped from our last video, and we are going to be able to put this all into here once we've finished. Now, I'm making the cover. I'm by no means sewing in the signature, but I wanted to do the cover because I was inspired to do that. So that's what we're going to start with. Right, now with this one, you can see that I have trimmed this one already. You want to get those measurements in place. So you've done that. So, and then you would want to just take your pencil and draw around, not this, your measurements, all right? It might mean that you need to cut off a piece if your bag is too big, and that's all right. We also need to take off these. If you've got a gift bag, you need to take these off. Now, it might not look so nice underneath, but that doesn't matter because we are going to cover them, but these are going to make it bulky, so I just like to take these off, the handles. And they come off pretty easily. And it doesn't matter if you tear it, because as I said, we're covering it. All right, so you've got your piece now. Mine is, as I said to you, it measures 9 1/2 by 8 and just short of 3/4, and that's good for me. But please just measure yours with your piece of paper, so that if you had to take one of these out and lay it over here, that you can see that you've got a little bit of an overrun on each side. Okay, so that's what you need to do. And I can take these all off too. Right, now this does have a bit of a gusset on this side, and I'm just going to stick that down. It doesn't matter. I'm just thinking which glue to use, but I'll just take this one. You could cut this bit off. I'm not going to do that. I just like the crinkly sound of it all anyway, so I am going to just glue this down. Any of the pockets and things that we are going to make, I will be doing on the inside, so not on the cover in this instance. Okay, so let's get that sorted like that. All right. Okay, so that will be the back. I think I'll make that the back. I'll make this the inside and this the front. Okay, so let's open it up like this. So we've got all the front, the outside to the top here. What I thought I would do is I'll just take a piece of paper, and as I said, I've got this pink, I wanted a piece of avocado stained, and I do have an avocado digital. It's not a crisis, it's just, you could even use a tea stained piece of paper, it doesn't really matter. I just wanted a base for the cover here before I put my doily on or anything like that. So again, I'm going to just measure, I'm going to buff this up to the edge and here, and I am going to just cut that. Now I'm measured up each side because sometimes these things aren't always straight, are they? So especially with bags, I have noticed when I've worked with them before, or envelopes, that's another one, they're not always exactly straight, and this one isn't either. It's slightly angled, but that's okay. I'll just cut that off and hang on to that. We'll never know. All right, and then I'm going to just take my glue again and I'm going to stick this down. So yeah, this isn't something I've done before. This is really trial and error, but you know, we've got to challenge ourselves and have a bit of fun. Now I am going to stitch along this at some point. It might be after I've stuck this down. I'm thinking it through as we go, probably. So I'm not going to go exactly to the edge here, but you're welcome to. Of course, you don't have to stitch this at all. If you don't have a sewing machine, that's all right. But I like the look of it, so you know I like to stitch. Right, so we've got that on there. Okay. Now we're going to end up putting our doily and things on here. And we're going to put our lace on here, but I will put the lace on once I've stitched around here. Just going to stitch around the edges here. It's purely for visual. And I'll be back with you in a moment. Okay, so I have stitched around there. You can see the paper does stick out a bit, but I quite like the layers that it's going to make. All right, so we've got our base covered. It has stitched through there. That's fine because we're going to end up covering stuff on that side as well. So it's good that we stitch this now. Right, so now I've got these two pieces of lace. This lace is about, doesn't matter really, but it's 1.5 inches. But I'm going to, it doesn't need to be that wide. I want it just to stick out that much really. So I'm wanting it to stick out about, how much is that? About 3/4 of an inch. I'm just going to use the fabric tack and get that stuck down here. All right, now you can see that most of my sewing will end up not being seen, but that's okay. I just know that it's stuck down well, and yeah, I just do like to sew. Okay, so we want to stick this one down here first of all, like that. Just can always trim this off once it's on, and then do the same on the other side. Right, I'm going to just stick this on here. So any lace that you have is great. And then I'm going to just take my scissors. I'm loving these Fiskars scissors. They're great for, if you struggle with pins and needles or anything to do with your hands, arthritis. I would imagine. I don't have arthritis, but I have carpal tunnel, and I think these are just really handy for the spring-loaded mechanism in here. So yeah, really good. They're on my Amazon favorites list, I think. Right, so I've got that there. I've got this doily now, and as I said, it's got lots of stains on it, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to cover it up. I want to now put this on here, and it becomes tricky because I've cut a piece off, but that doesn't matter. It's not as long as that on that side. So I want to just get it so that the lace is peeking through the various bits here. You could put lace along here as well if you wanted to. I'm not going to do it, but I've either got to cut it or I've got to cut it off. I think I'm going to cut it off. So this is the front, this is the back, and I think I'm going to have to end up cutting it off. So I've got to just see exactly where that is, and I'm going to have to go for it. So it's here. And I don't really like to cut up somebody's work, but I know no one's ever going to use this as a display piece anymore because of all the marks on it, and it had a hole in the other piece as well. So I feel like I keep telling myself I'm repurposing it. Now I could go and put this piece on here again, because we will be covering this up if you wanted to make the bit shine through, but then I do have this bit over here that hasn't quite I've used a piece off here, so I wonder if I shouldn't just stick that down. Nobody's going to notice really. It's the back of my journal. I think I will do that. Okay, so let's start with this piece. So I'm going to just lift this up, and I'm going to get the glue going down on here again. So we'll get quite a bit of glue on this section, and I'll see where I need to add glue once I've got this bit stuck down. So I'm doing half at a time here. We'll see how we go. Right, so I wanted to position this so that it's just even. Don't want it to extend beyond the lace, and then I can move it back like that, and then I can stretch it up as you want. Okay, so that side looks good. I think over here I might just need to put a few more bits of glue. That's stuck down, I think. I'll just get that stuck down. There we go. I like that. I like that. I love it, the layers that are forming. We want to glue this bit, so let me see if I do stick this down first, and then I can see how much I need to use here. So don't want to extend beyond the edge of the lace, so let's get that stuck down first. So we'll do that. I do love using old vintagey things in this kind of project, and I've never done something like this before, so it's a learning curve. Let's hope I don't mess it up. You're all trusting me here. No, I'm going to be confident. It's all in my head, so you know, I have dreams about it. Right, so let's get this down first, and as I said, I don't want it to extend beyond the edge of the lace. That's the absolute edge for me, and that bit's I don't think we're going to notice too much. Loving it. Right, now we want to carry on sticking this, but I'm going to cut a piece off only because it becomes bulky, and there will be another opportunity to use the other piece, so I'll keep that. All right, so once I've put on the layers, you're not going to notice anything. All right, so we get that stuck down, and we want to just make sure it matches. Right, so there we've got that bit done. I'm quite happy with that. Is there anything on here that I could take to do this? I wonder. Let's try it. I never stop, do I? So I'm going to just take this little piece here. I'm going to pull it and stick it and see if I can just mimic something here. And like I said, we're going to have other bits stuck on here, so not really going to see much. So we'll just give it a go. We'll give it a go. So you see, any kind of doily that you have, even if it's got a hole, you can still make it work. Who's to know? That's the back corner. You're not going to see that. Right. So we've got all of that layered. This is our front. All right. Now what I've got is a piece of fabric, and I said to you this one was just short of 8 inches by 4.5, there or thereabouts, and I'm going to put this is the front, as I said, and I'm just being mindful of where the fold line is. So let's just fold this quickly so we do know where it is, and I'm matching up the corners of the paper bag. Right, so that's what our front will look like, and we want to get our fabric. This is Liberty of London scrap that I had, and I'm going to put that onto this piece over there. All right, so we'll get that on there. It's easier probably to put it onto the actual cotton itself. This is a very thin cotton, but luckily we're layering on top of it. Otherwise I would say not to put too much glue on it, because it does go through. That's okay. Right, this is a great way to use up all those bits that you've had, and I tend to use the same colors for things So I do manage to save myself quite a few bits. But yeah, I'm loving how this is coming together. This is going to be such a beautiful keepsake. I hope you're excited. We're going to make it all stunning inside. I have no idea what it's going to look like. It just comes out of my head. Right, so we're going to just cut off that little, I think that's the joining stitch bit there. And I don't want to get glue on my scissors. Right, we've got that. Now we can start with some of these layers. So with some of these layers, I did sew on the 3 buttons onto this piece here. All right, and that's just half of that mini page that comes with the kit. We're going to now use these bits. So you've got 2 that are 3.5 inches by 6. This is that very light peachy page, and then the pink page as well. I want to layer these down with this. So I'm going to put the peach page, I'm going to keep moving it like that. All right, so we've got that one like that, and then I'm going to do that one like that. So I'm just putting one that way and then one the next way, and I'm moving it again and again. That's all I'm doing. All right, so we've got one like that, one like that, and one like that. That's all it is. So let's start off with our first one. Now I'm holding these in place here, and I'm going to use these little pins just so that I can glue part of it so that I can get it to stay where I want it right now. But we also want to place this piece. Now this piece I thought would look great just underneath this bit here. Okay, so that's what we're going to do there. So let's get that one on. So we'll get that one on with a bit of glue. Okay, so let's stick that on just over there. So I've got it at an angle, and I'm quite happy with that. Then this bit here, we want to get some glue underneath here. Now I will do the edges and things once I've got it in place. This is just how I do it to make sure that things stay where I want them to stay. Okay, get that one down. And then the last one. Like that. All right, now if we remove this bit, they are now where they need to be, and you just need to finish with the underside here. So oops, that one, oops, that one, and then the very last one. Okay, all right, we just want to make sure we've got the edgy bits here, so just check the top bits. Now you can go and stitch around it, but I won't. And I think with this fine crochet die cut, I just want to use this glue with a finer nozzle just to stick this down. Right, so we've got that bit now, and I've got that one stuck on, and now I want to stick this one on here like that. All right, so I'm going to take this fabric tack, because we've got the fabric underneath, and I'm going to go quite close to the edge here. Right, so we want to get that, and I'm hedging this sort of over this way a little bit, and maybe a little bit further down. Right, and get that stuck down. Now I was going to put this in, and I think I was going to put it in just over here, so I'm going to just take my bone folder, and that's the thing about fabric tack, it gives you a chance, doesn't it? So I've just put a little eyelet in there and a little bit of a bow, and I'm going to just get that sticking out at the top here. All right, so we've got that little bit there like that. All right, so carry on checking where your glue is. There'll be a few bits, but once you, I like to stick this underneath a book so everything's flattened and being held down. You can also clip it with your, you know, those black clips if you like, but it's looking good to me. I will keep looking for bits where it's sticking up, but I'm happy so far. Right, and then it's just a case of putting those bits on, but let's do the back bit now. Same procedure but less involved. All right, so again, we've got these bits here. I've got a scrappy bit here, so I've got these bits. This is 4.5 inches by 7.5, so that's 11.5 centimeters by 19.5. And guys, just remember, these are guesstimates, they're approximate, and yours might be slightly different as we are doing a different size ever so slightly. You want 2 of those, so you got your pink and your peach just like the front. And I think with this one I'm going to put the peach underneath, and, or was it this, these are the same size, so I want to just angle them slightly like that. Then that's that cream one again, 3 3/4 inches by 6 3/4. I had a scrappy bit that I'm going to fill in there, 9.5 centimeters by 17, and this is going to go on the top here. All right, and then I will just stick that over, and none the wiser, and then this bit over there like that. All right, so that's what we're going to do, and I'm going to put that over there. So as you can see now, you won't notice anything. All right, so that's what we're going to do. I am again going to just grip those bits there, just the bottom 2, for a minute, and then I'll come back to those 2. They're not so difficult. So let's get our glue out again. Oops. Okay, that's the only bit that we needed to hold down. It's just for positioning. Take that off, and now we can see exactly where we need to go with the underneath one. Get that nice and flat, right? And here we go. And now these ones are going to be positioned straight in the middle of this one. Pretty much centralized from there to there and there to there. Okay. All right, so go and look for the scrappy bits that you have, because that's exactly what I did here. And I do love this lace paper, you know, I use it for so much. And going with the lace, I just had to use it as a digital as well. Right, be none the wiser to think that that was joined on, would you? Right, and then this little bit's going to go on the back like that. We could have it this way. Should we try it that way? That's the way it was in the piece, so we'll do it the other way. Right, so there we go. Get that all stuck down. Now you could put a treatment on here, you know, like a matte medium or something to protect the outer cover if you wanted to, because it is paper. You might want to go in your handbag. You might not have a cover for it or anything like, I mean, a protective cover for it. So that's up to you. I quite like that. Right, now this one is going to go on the top here. All right, so I'm going to do just that. I'll just see that I haven't extended the edge. That's quite close, so just be mindful of that. Okay. And now you want to just get that close to the spine and just pull that out like that. And as I say, if you go and put this underneath a book, or if you want to stitch it, that will also work, you know. So yeah, there we go. So that's the front and that's the back so far. I think just having a little think. Yeah, I'm happy with that so far. Really looks lovely. I'm loving it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I just want to stick on my little die cuts now. So I've got this little one and just a bit of greenery and one of these. Okay, so I'm going to get these down. So this one, I'm just saying this is a darker peach one, and might just leave that one slightly higher like that. Yeah, so let's do those two. So this one's going to go here. And then I've just got this tiny one that I'm going to put a little lower, so about there. And I've got glue all over my hands. Means we're having fun, doesn't it? That's it. And I did miss not being here on Sunday. I was sitting in my chair thinking, oh my gosh, I would have posted a video now, and the guilt was consuming me. So but I'm glad to be back, and I needed the break, and yeah, I am glad to be back. Right, so we've got this little embrace life, because to me this personal journal here is about embracing life for me, and we're going to be putting in all these lovely positive sentiments and affirmations to help us remain positive and you know, just get all the negativity out of our days, so we can be our best versions of ourselves. That's my thoughts there. Right, so I'm going to stick that there like that, and then this little butterfly I thought I'll just put over there. So there we go. There we go, just like that. All right. Okay, everyone, I hope that you are excited about this. We are going to be working on this now for the rest of our tutorials, and you can see that when we put that inside there, that's going to fit perfectly. Yeah. With everything we're going to do, it'll be a bit chunkier than that. You want to be looking for some kind of a closure for yourself as well. I'm not sure if you want a closure or not, but I think that you probably will. I did have some silk ribbon, which I thought goes really well. This is from Plum Boutique. It's the variegated silk ribbon. And I might just put that on. It sort of goes with this antique-y sort of look that we've just developed. And I quite like that, but go and see what you have. It doesn't have to be silk, and it can be anything. It can be fabric. All right, so that's what we've got. I hope that you really like that. I'm excited to get going with this now. I hope that you guys are too. So go and gather what you have. And I hope that you've managed to get ready. We're going to be doing some exciting little projects for this. And thank you guys for being so kind and considerate and telling me to have a break. I really did need it. I was going to say I'm looking forward to another one, but I'll leave that till the end of the year. All right, I'm motivated to get going with all the things I want to get going with. All right, so until Friday, I will have a good week, and take good care of yourselves. And I'll see you again soon with another little project that we're going to use for our new little traveler's notebook. Thanks, everybody. See you very soon. Bye-bye.